Amtrak announcing limited service along the railroad's northeast corridor will resume on Monday following Tuesday's deadly derailment. The shutdown of the corridor, which has more than 700,000 daily riders, could cost the economy an estimated $100 million a day in lost productivity and other related expenses. Joining me now, Mark Aesch, former CEO of the Rochester Regional Transportation Authority and the CEO of TransPro. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so let's just get to where we heard the NTSB speak late this afternoon about they finally are going to be able to talk to the driver who says he has no recollection at all of what happened here. It appears that the train was really speeding up in the last 60 seconds or so before the brakes were thrown on. It seems to me, and we were talking about this earlier, could he have been texting or doing something that took away his attention, and by the time he looked up, he realized how fast the train was going?
Well, there's certainly a number of things, Ashley, that are possible. I think what's remarkable is I was actually communicating with folks that were on the scene that night, and within an hour, I was actually hearing from people that the train was going 105 miles an hour, and here we are several days later, we were able to confirm it was actually 106 miles an hour. So I think it demonstrates to you the quality of technology and the information systems that are now available in trains and planes and all sorts of automobiles. We all know those moms, right? We watched the commercial where she's backing her little minivan down the driveway, right, and it applies the brakes when someone's walking behind her before even she does. That technology exists on trains so that when you do have a distracted conductor or someone who is perhaps just being irresponsible, the train will manage itself.
Yeah, positive train control, this technology. But Mark, why wasn't this section of track fitted out with this technology? It's one of the busiest, as we know, in the country, and yet it didn't have it.
Yeah, it is. You know, so here's how I would liken that for you, Ashley. Imagine taking Sandra Lee, who makes these amazing cakes for us, right? Imagine if we said she's got to make us a great birthday cake, and we give her a 50-year-old oven and a beat-up pan, and we don't give her any ingredients or a recipe or tell her what she needs to do. Even Sandra Lee is going to struggle to make that cake. And that's what Congress and the President have done to Amtrak. Exactly the same thing. For 6 years now, essentially the entire time the President has been there, they have not passed a transportation plan. Amtrak can do as well as they want to do. If you've not given them a plan, if you make them take the $300 million a year that they make on the Northeast Corridor and run these trains to nowhere, even Amtrak, as good as they are, they've increased ridership and the like, they don't have a plan to be able to be successful because the President and Congress have not allowed them to do that.
I wanted to ask you another issue that's come up quite a bit is people wearing seatbelts on trains. Obviously, as the cars of the train fell off the tracks and were tumbling, people were just literally sent like inside a washing machine. If they were in a seatbelt, much like a car, could that have saved lives?
Sure. So, you know, there's always a debate on that, and the industry has had that debate. There are certainly a lot of upsides. There's also a lot of downsides, right? So if there's a fire and you have a lot of people that are on board a piece of equipment like that, the ability to get people out of that quickly, particularly if folks are disoriented, can be really troubling. So there's upsides and there's downsides. I don't think the industry has really coalesced around what the right answer is. There's no question in this case, seatbelts would have saved lives.
The NTSB saying, Mark, that they've tested a lot of the track, not all of it, but a lot of it. They said that the track appeared to be fine, the signals were working. You know, are we looking at any other possibility other than human error?
Yeah, so certainly, well, I think there's two pieces. So there clearly is human error. I think the frustrating part for people like us that are in this business is the technology exists that could have overridden that human error, and that's the frustrating piece. But I'll just go just a step further with you, Ashley. So we happen to have human error in this particular situation, but the Congress and the President allows Amtrak to run those trains over a 100-year-old bridge every single day in New Jersey. Yeah. So this happened to be human error. This happens to be a discussion about technology. An old car, a 100-year-old car, is called an antique. A 100-year-old bridge is a death trap. And even when they begin running those trains again, the President and Congress knows they're going to run that over a 100-year-old bridge, and they don't give them the resources to correct that.
Yeah, sobering thought indeed. Mark Aesch, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time.